G'day everyone, it's Calvin here from Shedding Sheep New Zealand. I happened to put out a block of SealsWinslow LamberMax just on Friday and a block of SealsWinslow Sheep Mineral Lick again on Friday. It's now Wednesday and the universe has provided me with a representative from SealsWinslow, and I think you're the solid food nutritionist?
Correct, I'm the technical and quality manager, or the nutritionist for SealsWinslow, yeah.
That's fantastic. And I'm not so much going to talk about the salt licks or the mineral lick blocks. I've got a little flock of sheep.
Yeah.
And of course today we were actually here doing a seminar on calf rearing, and I was either threatened or bribed to be here by the Wrightson's representative. And I was on the farmer panel and had to answer questions because we do rear a few calves. But it's a perfect opportunity to have a chat about the products. I've got about 30 ewes or 33 ewes in one block at the moment.
Yep.
They are stocked at 11 to the hectare, set stock.
Yep.
And I've got 15 ewe lambs, probably about 11 of those are in lamb, and they are being rotationally grazed, so I'm still trying to grow them.
Yeah.
Now, all my stock, I try to keep a salt block in front of me. That's really important for me.
100%.
And then often there's a mineralised lick, which is your SealsWinslow sheep.
Yep.
That is in front of both of my lots of sheep at the moment. But I've also got the SealsWinslow sheep LamberMax.
Yes.
And I'm going to be a little bit naughty, because it's similar to other products such as Crystallix and Megastart, and they're I believe it's a dehydrated molasses type block.
Correct.
High energy block.
Yes.
And I don't think we're going to say either of those others are a poor product, because they're all quite a fantastic product.
100%.
In this case, you're going to be specific to the SealsWinslow one, aren't you?
Yeah, 100%.
Being a little bit biased.
Yeah.
So the mineral block, the high energy sheep supplement, what are the advantages for me to use that?
Yeah. So 100%. I mean, we all know that sheep would graze, and potentially a lot of the feed would come from what they're grazing, so typically the pastures that we're putting them on. Particularly the trace elements and the minerals that we provide in the blocks are in the right ratios and in the correct or at the correct levels to ensure that the minerals and trace element levels are met. And the reason why that is important is that you can't achieve those levels through pasture alone. And it's particularly important, especially for growing animals, when we're mating animals, and for stressful periods, that we're providing those trace elements and minerals, because that provides the structure, the structural development that those animals need, right? So things like supporting metabolism, supporting the skeletal system, supporting membranes, for instance. Hoof production, for instance, driven by zinc, is really important to make sure that we're providing the right levels to those animals. And the dehydrated block is a wonderful way to do it. So our LamberMax has got those minerals formulated specific to meet the requirements of animals in New Zealand. We've tested the pasture and obviously formulated that to match our typical pasture analysis in New Zealand. So we're providing those minerals and macro minerals. The other part of it is to ensure that it gives the animal a boost. As you said, it's a dehydrated molasses block, so typically the sugar levels in those blocks are really high, and that gives an added bit of energy to the animals. But it also drives a rumen microbial production as well, and just better efficiency and utilisation of pasture when we look after the microbes in the rumen. And obviously a good food source for microbes in the rumen is starch and sugar. So hence the sugar content in those blocks being really useful.
33% or
36, I think.
38, yes, it's high.
Yeah,
it's on the high 30s.
100%.
I was riveted today when you were talking about the rumen development for the calves.
Yes.
Because I could apply that to the sheep. Ruminant, same sort of stomach system,
Correct.
same processes that we're going through.
Yes.
And of course my ewes, I'm from Monday just been, I'm 6 weeks out from lambing.
Yeah.
So the first ewes are due to lamb middle of July.
Yeah.
So we're seeing a huge increase at the moment in the ewes' nutritional needs
Yes.
in this period of time. And also, which I found really interesting too, is we're seeing a reduction in their immunities coming up to lambing as well.
Yes.
Ewes just around that lambing period have greatly reduced immunity, which is a really strange thing for nature to do.
Yeah, 100%.
I used a supplement block last year as well.
Yeah.
But I can't quantify the benefits that I've got because I didn't have a control group without it.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
But going down to costings and the costings of these products, and this one you might not like this question, but let's say I can buy 5 supplement blocks.
Yes.
I could buy 4 bales of silage.
Yeah.
I could buy 48 bales of hay.
Yeah.
As an equivalent.
Yeah.
Okay. For the same amount of dollars spent.
100%.
If I had silage, I would need a tractor.
Yeah.
And I do have access to a tractor, but it's a bit of a pain to bring it over.
Yes.
But I don't have one. Hay, I could deal with that. Quad bike, back of the car, wheelbarrow. That's quite easy to do. Small bales of hay.
100%.
What are the advantages of using something like the SealsWinslow LamberMax? And is there a costing benefit over those other products?
Yeah, 100%, and I guess it does depend on your specific situation, because potentially those hay and silage, for instance, might need or might meet specific nutritional requirements for your specific situation. So potentially if there's a lot of or low dry matter in your pasture and you need to increase the energy intake, silage might be a great opportunity for you specifically. However, in general, if energy isn't limiting, you would want to go and match it with a product like a block where you can get quick utilizable energy with all your micro minerals and micronutrients as well, and particularly around immunity and supporting the metabolism of the animal is critically important. So it's really around finding the balance. Your description of immunity challenges, I think the block is ideal to support those issues, right? So if you have a look at selenium, copper, and some other of those trace elements, they when we do have immune challenges and when the animals are under what we call physiological stress, either through lactation or other physiological challenges, it's important that we do supplement the likes of those trace elements that will support the immunity of those animals as well.
Do you know of any studies done with the cost benefit analysis across those sorts of products?
Yeah, 100%. Yep. So there's actually quite a lot of data on support of trace elements and the responses. Yep. I couldn't give you a cost benefit off the top of my head because I just grabbed him. Do the maths. He
wasn't expecting this, so this is totally unprepared on Paul's behalf, and it's fantastic that he's asked that he's did say yes to my little request.
100%. But we can show. We've got a really cool tool at SealsWinslow that we developed because essentially we need to start changing the conversation around cost to return, so return on investment or profitability or feed margin, however you want to have a look at it. Because ideally what we need to be doing is identifying the gaps for a specific farm and how we most cost effectively fill that gap to return the most amount of money. So 100% there are studies showing responses in immune response to different microelements, but also production responses and even reproductive performance. So we can put an ROI on products and costs on farm. And this tool that I was talking about, romneys, is something that we're developing. We've done lactating cows. We're busy with a calf model, but we're hoping to do sheep and goats and a whole lot of animals where we can actually show those responses based on scientific information.
Yeah. 'Cause it would be very easy for me to say, well, I actually need 4 extra live lambs by using those 5 blocks.
Yes.
That has to result. But of course there's benefits outside of live lambs.
Correct.
Ewe condition, the ability for those ewes to get back in lamb.
Yes.
I'm really focused at the moment on my hoggets and the development of my hoggets to get them sexually mature and mated and in lamb and having a successful first lambing, because those sheep are proven to be more productive. So I'm working hard on making my sheep more productive in that element. So that's again that energy requirements. We're in winter.
Yeah.
There is still a challenge there.
Yes.
Under normal type farming situations, grass is a little bit limited, and the nutrients in that grass.
Yeah.
But I need to put it across and quantify it.
Yes.
So it'll be interesting to see going forward the benefits of that.
Yeah, 100%, and that's what it's about. I think that's what nutrition is about. It's not just about saying this is what a product has in it. It's about what is the value of that product to a specific business or operation, and where we can identify those gaps and plug those holes. That's where you're going to get the biggest bang for buck, right? Yeah. And that's essentially what we're trying to achieve at SealsWinslow.
Also applying it correctly.
100%.
I could use the perfect product, but at the wrong time.
Yeah.
And it has, I get very marginal gains out of it, or none, or negative. Very rarely would you get a negative gain.
Yeah.
But it's putting it in at that right time.
Yeah, 100%.
There is actually a study done that I've read on one of the competitor products, using the product within a triplet bearing mob against, they had like a lucerne pellet and none at all. Yeah. And they had higher lamb survival by giving that extra energy to those ewes.
100%.
But it's in a triplet mob where they're losing a large number of lambs anyway. They were losing a third of them, which is the extra lamb.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it also wasn't applied for me as other effective triplet management programs. So they might have got a better result just lifting lambs. Yeah. But then going back, can we get some results with a single bearing mob or a twin bearing mob in the case of ewes? Yeah. I can't quantify, but I've got a few lighter ewes. Yeah. I've got one in particular, she's coming out of the mob. She's actually been culled because she doesn't suit. I don't want ewes that I have to give special treatment. Yeah. I want my ewes to be in a condition score 3 to 4. Yep. And so that I'll be really interested to see on the studies as they come out. Yeah. Because that's the sort of thing I'm looking at. Yeah. Can that product actually put money in my pocket? Yeah. At the end of the day.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. And like you say, I think with a lot of those studies, we sort of got to make extrapolations to your specific environment, but typically they're pretty accurate in terms of if we can identify where those gaps are. So if we can calculate what the requirement is for your specific situation based on body condition scores, based on pasture analysis and all the different inputs on your farm, and we can identify those gaps, we'd be able to, through a lot of the scientific studies, we would be able to go and extrapolate what the response would be if we had to correct those gaps on the farm, and turn that into a return on investment number.
Really interesting too for me is often I'll have a block out of season. Yep. And if I'm growing enough grass, they don't eat it. Yeah. They don't use it. Yeah. It's sitting there. There's energy. There's lollies. Yeah. Just sitting there. And they don't touch it. It will last 3 to 4 months. Yeah. But then at this time of year, my grass is a bit short. Yeah. I'm pushing them a little bit hard. They really get into it. Yeah. They hadn't had, the block probably was about a week and a half that they hadn't had a block. Okay. So they really liked it. And I expect I've got a few more ordered. Yeah. So they're going to be docked in front of those ewes, and I'll watch their consumption, and I'd actually expect their consumption to normalise a little bit in the next little while. So that, that disappearing a block within 5 or 6 days is not a typical response.
Yeah.
Normally it's about 25 days to 30 days
Yes.
that I would expect a block. So over that lambing period, I expect my 4 to 5 blocks to be a normal usage.
Yes.
So I'll keep an eye on that. It's great to chat. So
Yeah. Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Nate, the universe provided when it's on my mind.
Yeah.
I spent Friday and over the weekend reading about the different blocks, looking at the analysis, seeing the differences and looking at the claims made. And I think big claims sometimes aren't good for farmers because they look at it and go, well, that's not possible.
Yeah. No, 100%.
But actual honest sit down, what's going on, and that development of the rumen, of course, the minerals and the energy, the starch and the development and the greater utilisation of my pasture when it is minimal, I can see as a benefit to my use.
Oh, 100%.
It's the next thing is making it make money.
That's right.
So I'll be, as I said, I'll be looking forward to those studies.
Yeah, 100%. And, you know, we'd have some studies there that we can show you as well and future discussions. Yeah.
That'll be absolutely cool. So, thank you so much for your time.
Thanks, Colin.
Great seminar today, so I learnt lots.
Perfect.
And great to catch up with you now. Thank you very much.
Thanks for the discussion.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Paul.
Thanks, Paul.
Perfect.